And can everyone hear? Can I get just a thumbs up? And can those who need to or want to read the captioning, can you also see the screen? Great. Wait a minute. Why am I here? Wait, I don't even remember. I'm just teasing. Oh, very funny. Frank Burbank just said, I can't see you. Very funny, Frank. Very funny. Frank, what would you like me to do differently so that you feel that you have the appropriate accommodations? Frank doesn't know, but thank you, Frank. Thank you. It's always good to start things off with a little bit of humor. I want to thank you all for being here today. I want to thank you for being patient. This is the first time that we've been back in the Hall of Flags since 2019, and we just needed to get our sea legs again and figure out how to set things up in the appropriate manner. This is being recorded today. Hopefully the recording will be adequate and successful, and we can send it out after the fact. And I probably need to slow my pace down. I also want to thank Nancy Winter, Anthony and Nicholas and Matt for all of their technological assistance. If I have forgotten anyone, please forgive me. I know they've been working behind the scenes trying to get this going with the cart and the screens and the mics and everything. And of course, I want to thank our interpreting team as well. My name is Terry Morell. I'm the director for the Division of the Deaf, Hard of Hearing, and Late Deafened. Welcome to our 32nd annual awards tea. Our annual Deaf Tea celebrating deaf culture. Around the corner. And 35 is just around the corner. I got a question from the audience about how many years I've been doing this. Satara, help me out here. I think it's 11 years. Confirmation, yes. Yeah, 11 years. It's always fun. There's a lot of work that goes on in making this happen. But once the day arrives and we're here together, it's always thrilling to see all of your faces. It's always exciting to see old friends. I also want to thank the Cross Cafe for providing our refreshments. If you have not yet gotten some refreshments, please do at some point today during the tea. And I also want you to remember that the annual Deaf Culture Festival will be this Saturday, the September 30th, at the Maine Educational Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. And we'll have more announcements about Deaf Culture Week and about the Deaf Culture Festival later in our events. Today is the kickoff. It's the kickoff of the week from the 24th to the 30th. The governor proclaims this week to be the week recognizing deaf culture week. And this proclamation will be held in the museum on the island. If you have not yet visited the island at the museum on Mackworth Island, please do. It's so interesting to see the different exhibits, especially the exhibits about technology from days of yore. If you want information about the museum, Ronald Madore is the contact person. You can email Ronald at ronaldmadore@icloud.com, I believe. Ronald, do I have that correct? Yes. Great. And in fact, Ronald is one of our award recipients today. So we'll be speaking more about Ronald later in our events. This recognition, this event of recognizing people in our community has been going on since 1991. I miss when we could just call our division the Division of the Deaf, because all we had to do was say the DOD, and we can't do that anymore. It now has this terribly long acronym, the Division for the Deaf, Hard of Hearing, and Late Deafened. But we ensure that there is under the Department of Labor, that we have access, and that we are bringing about access and doing away with barriers so that it leads to employment independence and assists and supports the community for people who are deaf and hard of hearing. As I mentioned, we are under the Department of Labor. And I also want to take this moment to compliment and show appreciation to our rehab counselors for the deaf and hard of hearing and that particular team. Thank you. I know that you are here in the audience with us today, and I want to express our gratitude to you, as well as our gratitude to the other counselors who work within vocational rehabilitation. And the mission of vocational rehabilitation is to ensure that people are placed in successful employment settings. And of course, there are other barriers that we are dealing with all the time, but we are trying to focus at least on this one area and remove and eliminate those barriers. Our division also has an advisory council, which is called the Commission. We meet on a regular basis, 4 times a year. The next meeting will be held on October 12th from 4 to 7. The meeting is being held on Zoom. You are welcome to attend. And I would like to take this moment now to thank and recognize our commission members. If you could stand and be recognized if you're here in the audience today. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I want to thank Nancy Winter again for all her work behind the scenes. Thank you, Nancy, for making this a fully accessible and successful event. I hope you can take a breath now. I hope you can relax a little bit. We value you so much. Every year we gather. Now, why do we gather? What the hey? Why are we here? Of course, the reason that we gather is to recognize people in our community and award them with recognition. There are 8 individuals who will be recognized this year, and we congratulate each of them. We are thrilled to have our commissioner at the Department of Labor, Laura Fortman, celebrating with us today. And Commissioner, if you could come forward and make a few comments. Thank you so much.
We'll see. Thank you. So as Terry said, my name is Laura Fortman, and I have the distinct honor and privilege to join you today. And I am the Commissioner of the Maine Department of Labor. One of the challenges in this job is when I have to speak after talented staff like Terry, who have already given you all of the highlights that are in the notes and talking points that he gave me. I do want to emphasize a couple of the points that Terry made. First of all, that it is the 32nd event like this that has taken place. 32 years of strong advocacy that all of you have done on behalf of people who are deaf, hard of hearing, or late deafened. Today, we both celebrate that event and also recommit to continuing that advocacy until everyone in the community has the access to the services and opportunities that they need. The Maine Department of Labor is proud to be a partner and join you in advocating for those rights. Our mission is comprehensive, although it is focused on helping employers recruit and train a talented workforce and to connect those employers to talented folks like you who have the skills that are necessary for people to succeed and our businesses to succeed. I want to give you just a couple of the highlights of the work that's been done over the last year. Within the Bureau of Rehab Services, we assisted a total of 976 folks who were deaf, hard of hearing, and late deafened. We could not have done that without the partnership and involvement of all of you in the room today. More than one half, it was 60% of people reported hearing loss or primary communication auditory as their primary disability. Approximately 10% reported American Sign Language as their primary language. And the ages of the people we served range from 15 to 90 years old, with an average age of 53. And of the folks that we served, 148 of those individuals were able to find employment as a result of the services. And the kind of employment ranged from professional positions such as teaching, counseling, while others also found opportunities in skilled crafts, administrative support, and working in construction. Each year, we also work with many young people who experience hearing loss. And I have to tell you that some of the most energizing and exciting stories I hear are about those summer programs that are offered. There are things like college bus tours to our Step Up program where students prepare for post-secondary education, to summer work experiences across the state, and having employment goals conversations with young people and activities with youth at Pine Tree Society's Dear Ago Camp for students who are deaf and hard of hearing. This investment in our youth is absolutely critical to Maine having a skilled future workforce and a vibrant economy. Terry mentioned that this is the first time we've been in person since 2019. And all of us have seen the challenges that the pandemic created. One of the positives that did come out of that crisis, though, is that we've seen workers with disabilities surpass their counterparts without disabilities in more quickly returning to pre-pandemic levels of employment. And the deaf community has very much been part of that employment trend. Changes in how we work, including technological advances and remote access, have offered opportunities for people with disabilities to move from the sidelines to employment at higher levels than have ever previously been achieved. This is exciting. The workforce should reflect all members of our communities, and a workplace that allows all of us to fully participate and utilize our talents is what will allow our state to thrive. I would also like to take a moment to not only thank our staff who have worked so hard, but also to recognize today's amazing award recipients. Terry has said that 8 outstanding members of the community will be honored in a little bit on this agenda. I want to personally congratulate the folks: Samantha Jones, Malvina Gregory, Abua George Blanchard Akafu, Deborah Baird Rogers, John and Kelly Howe, Amy Leon Richardson, Tristan Eva Hillowell, and Ronald Medora Jr. Congratulations to all of you. And here's to a wonderful kickoff to the Deaf Awareness and Celebration Week. So thank you, and I'm turning it back over to Terry.
Thank you, Commissioner Fortman. I'd like to back up just a little bit. When we use the umbrella phrase of deaf, hard of hearing, and late deafened, we mean to include deaf individuals, hard of hearing individuals, and deaf blind individuals of all kinds, dual sensory, deaf people with additional disabilities as well. And we do not mean to eliminate anyone from that, but we could stand up here for a very long time and make our acronym even longer if I were to include every single person that we serve and that is part of our mission. We had some students prior to the tea who did a tour here at the State House. And as I was joining along in the tour, I thought, I don't think I ever came to the State House as part of my educational experience. And could we just have the students who are here today, could you stand and be recognized? Let's give them a hand. And I'm just asking, did you enjoy the tour? And maybe one of you could let us know, or all of you, what did you like about it?
I really enjoyed the beautiful old buildings, the history. It's so much different than today than it used to be way back in the day. The buildings are beautiful here. And another individual saying, I love the artwork. The artwork is really pretty.
Hi, I'm Quinn. I just wanted to say that, there's so much history here, art. There was a lot that we learned, and, the engineering that went into it. So I think that's the kind of stuff I'm going to study in school.
And I think Kevin was on the tour, Satara was on the tour, Susie, I believe, was also on the tour. So 1964, why was that a significant year? Could somebody tell me who was on the tour or otherwise?
I can't see.
Does anybody remember? We'll just get our interpreting in place. It was something that happened in Washington, D.C., I think. Kevin, Satara, help me out here. 64.
This is Kevin. Man, I learned a lot. But during the tour, we learned that Margaret Chase Smith was the first woman ever to be nominated as a U.S. president in 1964. And so she was an individual from Maine. That was incredible.
How many people in the audience knew that? I admit I did not know that. I encourage each one of you to sign up for a tour of this building. It takes about an hour of your time. It is well worth it. Governor Mills could not be with us today, unfortunately, but she did send a videoed recording of her remarks for us today. So we're going to play that now.
Right.
Hi, this is Governor Janet Mills, and I'm so honored to join you, at least virtually, for the 32nd Annual Deaf Culture Week Tea and help kick off the annual Deaf Culture Week here in the state of Maine. As I said in my proclamation declaring September 24th through the 30th as Deaf Culture Week in Maine, the deaf community in our state has its own rich language, culture, history, and traditions which have shaped our state for generations. The many contributions of deaf people in the state of Maine should be celebrated every day, not just during Deaf Culture Week. Nationally, as you know, 1 in 10 people has hearing loss that is significant enough to impact their daily lives. That number is probably a lot higher for our state because we are the oldest state in the nation, and many people experience hearing loss as they age. In my administration, the Division of the Deaf, Hard of Hearing, and Late Deafened in the Maine Department of Labor works to improve access to employment, independence, and community integration for people in our state who are deaf or hard of hearing. I'd like to thank the Department of Labor's Bureau of Rehabilitation Services, led by Commissioner Laura Fortman, for its work in making sure that the talents and achievements of all Maine people are recognized. I also want to encourage Maine employers to diversify their workforce by harnessing the many skills and experiences of people with disabilities. The Bureau of Rehabilitation Services can assist both workers and employers with vocational rehabilitation, with training assistance, and advice. With the right and sometimes the simplest accommodations, those who are deaf or hard of hearing can bring their valuable skills to your workplace. For more information about hiring people with disabilities or identifying job training resources for people with disabilities, please contact your local career center. And for more information regarding deaf or hard of hearing resources, contact Terry Morrill, Director of our Division for the Deaf, Hard of Hearing, and Late Deafened at terry.l.morrill@maine.gov. Lastly, I'd like to congratulate the individuals who are receiving awards today. You are all true leaders in our state, and I thank you for everything you've done for the people of Maine. I wish you all a successful Deaf Culture Week, celebrating your significant contributions to our state, beginning Sunday, September 24th. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. And that will hopefully, that it was very kind of the governor to include that recording as part of our events today. And we'll be sending that out as well. It's part of the recorded. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. We are fortunate to gather here on a yearly basis as a community. I am thrilled to introduce Dr. Karen Hopkins. Dr. Hopkins is the Executive Director of the Maine Educational Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, Governor Baxter School for the Deaf, and many other roles. We used to refer to the school strictly as the Governor Baxter School for the Deaf, or GBSD, and I think that that is a name that is dear to many of us. Karen has been involved with many grants, and we'll have to ask her what HRSA means, but the HRSA grant is one of the things that Karen has done a tremendous amount of work on and achieving. And she's also involved in early intervention. She's been involved in working with families, many, many roles that Karen has held over the years. She's also involved with many different organizations. I believe, Karen, that you're currently the president of Maine Hands and Voices. Excuse me, National national hands and voices, if I'm correct. There are too many things to list here in Karen's biography. Many of us already know that Massachusetts is stealing Karen away from us for a new job in Beverly, Massachusetts, but we are thrilled to have her here today to give the keynote speech.
Hello, friends. Wow, what a great turnout. Seeing so many faces. I see so many connections with connections, former students, former infants that I supported, families, coworkers, friends here in the audience. The list goes on, as well as VR here to support. And thank you for all the incredible connections that you have made with me over the years. I feel so incredibly fortunate. And thank you, Terry. So today I'd love to talk about the power of connections and the strength that we see within our community. So I want you to take a moment to think about the connections that you have, and I'll elaborate on that throughout this presentation. All right. Thank you, Nancy, for advancing the slides, and Lisa. Technology is always fun. So thinking about the concept of a journey, we take one step, another step. All of us have taken journeys together, each of our own individual journeys, while at the same time amongst a community of journeys. As Terry mentioned a few moments ago, having us back together and thinking about this event, 32 years. 32 years. Now, I graduated from college, Gallaudet University, 32 years ago, and that is the start, the inception of this event. And so coming back from DC, I was young, a little bit green, new on my feet, if you will, coming back to Maine, and to be here, to be in Augusta, to be in this special place with a governor. Wow. So thank you for reminding me. Yes, the Blaine House was where we hosted that event, and just so many wonderful memories, so many steps along this journey. And so I don't know if you know this woman on the screen with me. This is my mother, and she is absolutely my favorite person in this world. Her spirit, she's really my everything. She has been my rock, my supporter, my cheerleader, and everything has connected back to my mother. And so she's been gone for almost 10 years now, but for a long time, she had dementia. She lived with me in my home, and the stories that we would share, the storytelling, she would share stories with me. I would share stories with her. And I remember, I was the only deaf child living way north in Maine, very isolated, the only deaf child in my community. I didn't have a community like I have in front of me today. I was very much solo on my own. And there was my mother. She was this incredibly powerful woman, and she taught me everything. And when she had the onset of dementia, she did not forget one thing. And that thing that she remembered was that she wanted me to have a connection to a greater deaf community. And she would apologize to me and say that she was so sorry. And she said, Karen, please change the future for other deaf children so they don't have to experience that isolation that you did. She always encouraged me to find connections and to make connections for other people within our community. And so this is life. We're a part of a journey. We have multiple paths ahead of us. The map is ahead of us, and each one of you are following your own journeys. And gosh, they can be complicated, right? I consider my upbringing, living way north as a deaf child. And in those early years, as my hearing levels dropped, spending time in hospitals, doctor's appointments, I had seizures as well. I remember waking up in the hospital. I couldn't walk. At that point, I had some vision challenges as well. And then, so throughout my upbringing, I was in and out of the hospital, and brain development was impacted. Language development was impacted. My mobility was challenged. And that was all a part of my journey. And I have to say that constant with me throughout my childhood was my mother. I would always find her. She was always there. And that deaf community, I hadn't met you yet. You were not a part of my community quite yet, but I was able to discover and find those greater connections. My concept of community was there with me, instilled from my mother. And so this life has been a journey. And so these were some quotes from my mother. And she says, you know, we don't know where we're going, right? Tomorrow, next year, even next month, in our next moment, we don't know what journeys we have ahead of us, what adventures, what experiences. But at the same time, we must find our dreams. We have to discover our hopes, and we have to believe in yourself, to believe in your community, and to find that power within your community. And so I encourage you all to dream, hope, and believe. So here we are today, and we can believe in the power of connections and collaboration for our deaf children. And we can absolutely do this. So look, you're all here today. And if we think about our why and why it is we're here, why did we make our way to the Deaf Tea today? For me, this is one of my whys, Maine deaf children. These are just a few pictures that I grabbed from my laptop. Really, when I opened up my photos folder, there were pictures. And actually, I see some of you here today. So you all have been a part of my journey. Each child, each student, each infant, a part of that journey, and your own individual journeys along the way. There are complicated situations, challenges throughout an individual's life, but at the same time, there's success. And these children, these babies, the students have all been successful. And that's because of this greater community, a community behind them. And so as we're going through this journey tomorrow, again, we don't know where we're going. We don't know what lies ahead. What will we find? All of our students, we don't know who they will become as young adults, but with our connections with our community, that is one of the essential pieces to the puzzle. So life is full of endings, but every ending is a new beginning. Each one of those moments, each pause, each moment of startling or fear can bring us to a new path, to a new beginning, a new part of our journey. So as we think about those doors that close ahead of us, those new doors will open. So here we have a picture of a baby. So as you know, my heart, I love babies. I love deaf babies and Maine babies. And so if you think about an expecting mother, the excitement, that vision of what life will be like as they bring home their new bundle of joy. And at the same time, they may discover that they have a deaf child. What they envisioned as a hearing parent is not what they're experiencing in those first few weeks. There's wires and there's tests and there's hearing tests and there's audiologists, and a family will discover that their child could be deaf. And that is not part of their expected journey. Often these parents feel that there's an end, or that there's barriers, or there's a pause to their story. But at the same time, we know that it's a start. It's a beginning for that family. And we celebrate another deaf member to our greater community. Our community grows. We come together to support families. So Maine, this community, the people in front of me, we are all here to provide support to families, to deaf babies, to their parents, to their greater families. Thinking about my journey and not having connections to the greater community, we can make a shift and a change. We have GBSD, we have programs, we have outreach, we have connections. We can implement programs and structure things so that families can receive services. Our deaf community can show up, can be available to support families. So as you know, our program is nationally recognized. Hands and Voices is a big part of us. It's a connection to bring families and the greater community together for support. And so if I think about each one of you can make an impact on the life of a deaf child. And that can happen tomorrow, next week, this next month, and that impact can continue. You can be an inspiration. So if we consider the energy and the people power in this room, we can make a huge impact. So ask yourself, take that pause, ask yourself, what can I do? How can I support the future of a deaf child? So start to contemplate and to think about how you can make that shift. Every single person in this room can make a difference. And so now, the time is now. Each one of you jump in, get involved, support GBSD, support vocational rehabilitation, Hands and Voices, the greater community, and be a part of this process. Sometimes we find ourselves in a moment of change. And like for me, 32 years here in deaf education, working in Maine, a very long time, this opportunity approached me. And I was like, oh, goodness, no, not for me. No, thank you. It came back. It came back again. It was a very persistent opportunity. And I figured, why not at this point? Why not try something new, something different, implementing new ideas and trusting in myself? And I thought back to my mother, and my mother said, Karen, you have to dream, you have to believe, you have to hope, and you have to make that jump. And so why not try something new in a different state, providing support to new families and trusting that magic can happen and there could be a magic of a new beginning. So every day there is a sunset and a sunrise every single day. And so when you wake up, you look, you try to find that sunrise. In the evening, you try to catch that sunset. And that helps me to stay positive. It helps me to bring this new day forward with a positive energy. Yesterday is behind me, today is in front of me. And together, as part of this greater community, we can let that positivity shine. Make it a part of your sunrise and sunset every day. So our community will continue to grow together. We will be together. And remember, your perspective, each one of your perspectives is different. As that sunrise and the sunset, it's never the same day in and day out, right? You might see different colors. Sometimes rain affects it. You could see a rainbow along the way. Those perspectives that we look through different lenses are all different. So a situation could be different. And if you meet one deaf child, you've met one deaf child. We don't know their upbringing. We don't know their perspectives. And so let's come together and each one of us bringing our own gifts. I think that we can be successful. In terms of strategies for promoting connections, how do we do that? How, as a community, do we pull together, with individuals leaving? How do we stay strong? And you have to, with myself leaving, two people have asked me, how do we continue to grow this community? First, you must know your goals. As a community, come together and make decisions around those goals. Think with others. Do not make decisions independently. Grab others, share ideas, brainstorm. It will work. I know that our community, along with MECDHH, GBSD, we don't make decisions alone. We bring in the greater community, we receive feedback, we listen. So developing options, one way, one approach, one school, one situation, one path is never the answer. Considering options, opening up those doors. Always don't say you're wrong. Oh, excuse me. No, look for the positives. You will absolutely find the positives if you open up your eyes. So, and find that sunrise and that sunset. Erase the concept of you're wrong. People can be right. There's always some right to every statement, and ask the person, why is it that you think that way? Build a greater team. We are stronger in numbers. If you would like to make a change to the world, I think you could do that. But if you pull together other people in that vision, you'll absolutely make a change to this world. Lean on your community, find your community, pull in that support. Progress, though it might be slow, is better than no progress at all. It is fine to have slow progress. And, I see here some MEC, DHH, GBSD staff. I know sometimes we feel like, 5 years, 6 years towards a strategic goal. It feels like such a long time. It's part of that journey. If you make that jump, there's really no simple or easy fixes. It's all part of the process. So the future, our deaf children, they are the future. And so I am passing the torch to you all. I'm looking forward to seeing that future. The future is in your hands. So reflecting back, thinking about what has worked, what has needed improvement. I do that myself. If I think about deaf education, what could work for our students, what hasn't worked in the past, how do we need to shift and mold and change our community in a different way? And so as part of this journey, coming together, force yourselves to pause, to stop. Don't make those jumps. Come together, stop, reflect, think together, share ideas, and brainstorm. Doing all of this together. And so the time is now. Come together. So we collectively have come a long, long way. If I think back, my time as a child compared to where I am today in this room with this incredible community, we are together, and I see that we are already and have changed the lives of many deaf children, and it will continue. The journey will continue. And so I'll be watching from Massachusetts. And I have to say, I am so incredibly proud of Maine and of you all. And I'm going to be cheering from just a few states away. And I'll always be here to support. And so who will you connect with? So think tomorrow, who will you reach out to? Think about one person. Okay, name that person in your head. Who will you reach out to? I challenge you. And so believe in the power of connections, making those connections for our deaf students. And that's it. Thank you. And thank you all for your continued support.
Thank you, Karen. Karen, where are you? Oh, you're right there, right in front of me. Thank you so much, Karen. Believe, hope, and dream, right? That's the message of the day, and connect with one another. To our award recipients, after the formal events are done, if you could please gather here at the front of the room. We're going to meet with Jess Picard, who's going to take pictures, and Jess is back there, kind of behind where Kevin is, near the pillar. So please don't leave. We're going to take pictures. All right. Are you ready? I would like to start by introducing The Chair of the Commission for the Deaf, Hard of Hearing, and Late Deafened, Lisette Belanger, as well as other members of the T Committee, Sitara Sheikh, Regan Thibodeau, and Kevin Bolin. Members of the T Committee will be giving out the awards. We're going to be starting off with Sitara giving the first award. Sitara?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am thrilled to give the following award, which is the Citizenship Youth Award to Samantha Jones. Samantha recently graduated from the program at Portland High School through MECDHH GBSD. We have seen her blossom through the years and her time in high school. She has more self-confidence, gained a stronger identity, and gained advocacy skills as a member of the deaf and hard of hearing community. She is currently a student at Eastern Maine Community College in the welding program, and she is a role model to many. The field of welding is typically a male-dominated field. And she is doing amazing things, and we look forward to seeing her shine in her future. And so again, I am thrilled to welcome Samantha to receive this award. Congratulations. Do you have any words for your audience? I can hold that if you'd like, or. And she's just saying thank you.
The next award will be given by Lisette. This is a special accommodation award. This is going to Malvina. The interpreters are asking me to just hang on for 1 second. To Malvina A. Gregory. Malvina is the Director of Interpreter and Cross-Cultural Services at Maine Medical Center. Some of you have gotten to know her through the Deaf, Hard of Hearing Patient Family Advisory Committee. She's done incredible work at MMC. And as a part of the Deaf, Hard of Hearing Patient Family Advisory Committee as well. She has been ahead of the curve and has gone above and beyond in making sure that all of the behind the scenes work is done in advocating for deaf and hard of hearing patients and making sure that interpreting services and that accessibility is available to all patients and family members. And that includes services for our deaf, blind, and dual sensory communities. There's a lot of things that I could mention that are part of Malvina's work. She has been an advocate. She has done educational work. She has worked collaboratively with all of the different members of Maine Health, making sure that coverage happens, making sure that all of the offices, all of the sites that are part of Maine Health, part of Maine Medical Center, are providing adequate and access and excellent services. Again, Malvina has been passionate about this work, has shown true authenticity as well as humility, has shown true caring and compassion for all patients and family members. And I am quite sure you've seen her will see her at our annual Deaf Culture Festival. And it's thrilling to have her be a part of that event as well, in showing her support for the deaf community. She has been involved with making sure that all those services within Maine Health are equitable and fair and available. Malvina, please come forward to receive your award. Malvina, 1 second.
Ready? So I want to thank you. And I think the message of connection is really important. I could not have done any of the work that I did to improve the systems within Maine Health without the connections that we made with our Deaf and Hard of Hearing Patient and Family Advisory Committee. That partnership has brought a great deal of joy. And I think that when you think about the basic belief that everybody deserves to be healthy, everybody deserves to understand their health care, everyone deserves to be able to understand what's happening with their family members, the rest of it gets really simple. So I want to thank our Patient Family Advisory Committee members for helping to guide the way, to point and say, this needs to be moved. This needs to be fixed. This part is hard. And the rest is just good listening. So I would like our members of our PFAC to please also stand, because this award is yours as well. Lizette, Sitara, Josh, could you guys stand too? Who else do we have? Is Christine here? Sitara, get up. All right. Any other members? All right. Some applause for them, please. Thank you. It's their work too. Good.
Thank you. Lisette is giving out the next award as well. This award is the Ginny Hughes Award, the Advocate for the Needs of the Deaf Community Award. And we are presenting this award this year to Blanchard Abua Akafu. For those of you who do not know Blanchard, his home country was the Ivory Coast. And I tend to think in French when I think about communicating with Blanchard. So I'm doing a little internal translation now. And I'm so sorry, Blanchard, I can't give this speech in French at the moment. But for those of you who do not know Blanchard, he moved here from the Ivory Coast, where he was an advocate for deaf people in his home country. He was a tireless advocate for his community in the Ivory Coast, but his life was threatened and he had to flee the country, leaving behind his wife and a young daughter who was 2 years old at the time, I believe. If I'm correct, Blanchard, at the time that you left. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll correct myself. The baby was only a week or 2 weeks old at the time that Blanchard fled his home country and became an immigrant who, arriving here, became an advocate for others, knowing only French and his home country sign language. And still he managed to survive in spite of the obstacles. He navigated life here in the US with great skill and determination. Got his driver's license, got a job, continued to advocate for others. And if you speak to other members of the refugee community, the immigrant community, and ask them about Blanchard, they would say that he worked tirelessly in advocating and offering support and guidance and resources to others in the community and connecting them to those different resources. Blanchard is not a show-off. He would not say these things about himself. He is a humble man and a passionate and compassionate individual, an amazing individual. If you think about his life journey, I think you'll agree that he has done amazing things. I'm happy to say that his wife and daughter did arrive safely in the country, and there is a new baby who was just born on Sunday, which is why his wife cannot be here today. Blanchard, could you come forward, please, to get your award?
Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Do you have words you'd like to share? I'm saying yes. I am not fluent in American Sign Language, but I am learning and I will try to talk a little bit as best I can. I want to thank you so much to Augusta and all of the work, the people who have supported the deaf and hard of hearing community. I'm thankful to Terry, to interpreters and those who have given support, including Josh and Regan Thibodeau. I want to thank Lisette, like Mama, and I have learned so much from all of you. And I have a young man who is a good friend who has helped to teach me sign language. And, you know, I had to leave my family at home because my wife, as was said, just had a new baby. But of course, they celebrate with me today receiving this award. I feel so honored. I never got an award when I was in the Ivory Coast. I didn't get an award until I came to the United States. So I appreciate all of the support that you've given to me, and God bless you and may he support you. All of you deaf individuals, please do work together. Let's collaborate and support all of the deaf and hard of hearing people in Maine. Thanks again so much.
And thank you for all the work that you do on the behalf of this community and your community. And you may have noticed that Blanchard said, "Thank you, Mama." I will say that there are some cultures where any elder woman is called an auntie or a mama. I am not Mama formally, but it is a term of respect as well as endearment. Kevin, could you come forward to give the next award? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Our next award is the Outstanding Citizenship Award. And this award is typically given to someone who is a leader in the deaf community here in Maine. This award is a highly respected award that will be given this year to Deborah Bear Rogers, the 2023 Outstanding Citizenship Award. Deborah, the community wants to recognize you. Not only are you a leader in the community, but you are also an advocate for our community, and you are encouraged for access, whether it's at home or in the professional field. through involvement with Disability Rights of Maine, Deaf Services, Maine Relay, the Division for the Deaf, Hard of Hearing, and Late Deafened, the Telecommunication Relay Service, and the Association of the Late Deafened Adults. So all of that work, all of that participation to help recognize our community. And unfortunately, Deborah could not be here today. So I want all of you to just have a round of applause for Deborah.
And I believe that we have somebody, Lisa Penny, who's accepting on behalf of Deborah today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Deborah certainly is appreciative of this award. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Deborah. Regan is coming forward to give the next award.
Hi, I think I'm tall enough. I can be on this lower step. So this award goes to 3 individuals. So I'm going to hit on 2 together and 1 separate, but let me speak broadly about them and then I will highlight each of them. So the award is for the Promotion of American Sign Language, Deaf Community and People Award. So this is an acceptance of deaf culture, language that gets shared through the generations. We recognize Maine deaf leaders for ASL and culture and deaf people, and how we recognize them may be that we're connections we have not necessarily highlighted in our daily lives because we do not know everyone who lives here in Maine. Those individuals take the reins and welcome individuals and remind us to celebrate our deafness and American Sign Language. Those that have put forth the effort to do that, we understand that we all have to work together. So we'd like to recognize John and Kelly Howe, and Amy Leone Richardson. These individuals have promoted, I should say, there's over 600 different sign languages in the world. However, those are documented. We suspect that there is much more. We have heard that there's 300, but there is actually 600. And so we suspect that there are more signed languages in the world that we are not aware of yet. If we can connect and recognizing that and having those connections with all those indigenous languages and coming together to be American Sign Language as an equal. Okay. So we would like to recognize Kelly and John. They've hosted events and welcomed all. They have not rejected anyone. So they're known for hosting the yearly barbecue, running those events. And wait, are they here? Oh, thank you. In the crowd there. Thanks so much. We look forward to having more from you. You can host workshops and teach us how we can be like you, because you are definitely a role model. You have great opportunities. You rally us, and we'd like to learn from you. So share your secrets so that we can help share the load. All right. Amy and I met many, many years ago at the Model Secondary School for the Deaf. And can you imagine that we are here today? Now, you know, Amy was originally from New Hampshire, but spent many, many summers here at Old Orchard Beach here in Maine. And I am looking at her today and I can hardly believe it. As she has moved to Maine, she jumped in with both feet and really values so much. It's not like she felt like she was on the fringe. She found ways to be able to be part of the community here in Maine. She works as a direct support professional for deaf individuals. She teaches American Sign Language at USM and has been doing so many things here in the community. And another reason that she is getting this award is because she really loves football. She wants to make sure that we know that. And also, I have to say, you've also helped with my spelling and fixing my typos on Facebook, which is why I'm so happy to give this award to you. For all of us here, we look to these three, but we also want to see that work continue on for the language and deaf culture to celebrate going forward. So first we will call John and Kelly up to get your award. And I have to say, this is, I think, the first time that we've had two different groups get this award. So is there anything that John and Kelly you'd like to say?
No, I'm rather shy, and so am I. I'm a bit shy. But thank you everyone so much for voting this award for us, and thank you so much.
It's so funny how social you are when you're so shy.
Right. Well, thank you. Thanks everyone.
Next, I'd like to call Amy up to the front to get your award.
Well, bummer. I didn't get the tall Jean. I'll have to stand up on the top step. Okay. Thank you, Regan, for your comments, and thank all of you for nominating me for this award. And I want to speak to Karen's statements about her mom. I want to dedicate this award to my mom because she's the one that started my journey. One of her most valuable insights that she influenced to me is finding a way to communicate with me. When she found out that I was a deaf child, my parents found a way. They found a way to communicate with me. And then 10 years later, my brother was born and he also was deaf. And they followed that same philosophy with him. They found a way to communicate with him. And because of all those values they shared, they imparted those pieces of wisdom with me. And that has led me to where I am today, being an advocate and valuing our connection with community and sharing American Sign Language with others. And thank you to all of you, my friends and family, for welcoming me here to Maine. And because of that, I found my husband here. So thank you all for this award. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy. And our next award is being presented by Satara. I am so excited to be awarding the Dr. Tony Reese Interpreter Award to Tristan Ava Hallowell. Ava is being recognized for their outstanding services in a professional and volunteer capacity in the deaf, hard of hearing, and interpreting communities. I cannot say strongly enough how much we value their work, their efforts in so many different arenas. They have been involved with social justice, with the Maine Deaf Culture Festival, with ASL Immersion, with the Interpreter Organization, with Maine Association of the Deaf, and is currently very involved with what we are calling the Maine Sign Language Interpreting Community, formerly Maine RID, but now a part of MEAD. We are so lucky to have Ava as part of our community and as part of our deaf community and our interpreting community. Ava, could you come forward for your award, and thank you. Yay.
Thank you, friend. Just briefly. Oh, thank you. The thread has continued throughout the day. Wow, moving up in the world. Woo. All right. So the thread that we have shared, as people have commented earlier, service Without community is impossible. So I accept this award, not for the work that has been done, but my commitment and responsibility to continue to serve in my life going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The final award is being presented by Kevin.
The last award is the Clifton F. Rogers Award. This award is given to an individual who is recognized for their outstanding service in a professional and volunteer environment within the deaf and hard of hearing community here in Maine. Clifton himself attended the School for the Deaf and lived in Belfast for 30 years. He was a member of the advisory council and worked for the Division of Deafness. Quotes that describe him were, he made an indelible impression on everyone he came in contact with for his lifestyle, always created goodwill and warm feelings. His knowledge of Maine and its deaf culture were immense. And he passed through this world making it a better place. It's almost like this is a lifetime recognition award, if we could draw a parallel. This year's award recipient is Ronald Madore. I think everyone here in this room, if I look around, everyone here has had some sort of experience or interaction with Ronald. Ronald has participated with GBSD as an alumni. He participates with the Maine Catholic Deaf Association and has continued as GBSD's works with the museum and curating the history of the school. He is president of the Maine Deaf Senior Citizens Association, as well as participates with the Maine Association of Deaf, as well as being part of a different member of different communities. When his name was nominated to the committee, it was a unanimous decision. Everyone said absolutely 100% yes. There was no discussion. So I wanted to share a quote that came up during the meeting that said, "This is a man who always has had strong presence with the deaf and hard of hearing community. Whether you know him or you don't, he is sort of like the deaf grandfather that everyone has. Someone that everyone can look up to, who is warm and welcoming and sharing of the Maine deaf community. He is an individual that is impossible to replace. The deaf community loves you. Congratulations, Ronald."
Okay, I won't be long in my comments. After the Zoom meeting was finished, I went and checked my email inbox. And I have to say, I was shocked. I could not believe the email I received that I had won an award. I was thrilled. Thank you so much to all of you for nominating and voting for me to get this award.
Now I'd like to
On the T committee.
call on the T committee to come forward, please. All the members of the T committee, if you could come to the front of the room. First of all, I want to thank you for all of your work. I think sometimes it's a mystery to people out in the community how the nomination process works. And I want to start with saying thank you for this year. And I know that it's often a difficult choice. There are many people deserving of these awards. And we ask the community their opinion. And if any of you have somebody that you want to nominate, please get in touch with a member of the T committee. Please fill out the nomination form. And sometimes we don't know who's out there. There are deaf children, hard of hearing children who are in their public school systems that we don't know who they are. So please, if there's somebody out there in your neck of the woods or that you run across who is deserving of an award, please, please make sure that their name is known.
So, right, there's a form that can be filled out and you can, rather than do it on paper, you can do it online. There's also an opportunity to put it in American Sign Language. So Melly and Kyle, who have moved out of state, unfortunately, but the two of them were more than happy to be able to provide that information in American Sign Language. So we welcome your feedback on that as well. But thinking about how you can make those nominations, the goal is so that you can send a video clip of ASL, why that person should be picked rather than using written English. Go ahead, Satara.
If you happen to see any one of us in person, so like, let's say, for example, at the Deaf Culture Festival, you can certainly reach out to one of us in person and say, hey, I'd like to nominate this person. That's a perfect way of getting in touch with us and letting us know that you might have a nomination.
You don't have to wait.
You don't have to wait until next year. If you may not know what the awards are all about, which award you want to nominate someone for, that's perfectly fine as well. You can just say, hey, I'd like to recognize this person, and you can tell us why this person should be nominated. Then we can make the decision as to which award would be best suitable for them.
Thank you so much. So thank you. And thank you as we wrap up the 32nd annual Deaf Awards T. Next year will be the 33rd year. I want to congratulate all of our award recipients. Thank you all for participating today. Thank you to everyone who worked behind the scenes. And it worked, right, Nancy? It worked. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. It really did. It always works out in the end. It was a success. And we have some announcements. I know that Nancy Rourke, who is a deaf artist, visual artist, is doing an artist in residence program on the island. And perhaps some people can come forward and talk about that. I know Emily's here today. Perhaps Emily can give an announcement about the artist in residency, but other events that are happening during the week, during the month, if anybody has any announcements, this would be the right time to give them.
Almost fell there. Just kidding. I'm Emily. Hello, everyone. I am thrilled to welcome Nancy Rourke, who is a deaf artist who is with us today. There are a lot of events happening this week that she will be part of. I have multiple things, but let's focus first on Nancy's participation. On Tuesday, there will be a presentation at USM with Sordism and Deaf Via, ASL Via. So the work that she has been doing up until this point will be at USM. Then, so that's Tuesday during the day, the senior citizens group will be working on the mural, the ASL mural at GBSD or on Mackworth Island. You're certainly welcome to come Tuesday through Friday to participate in that paint. There's also another paint event happening on Mackworth Island from 5 till 7:30. And that you can sign up at maindeafarts.com. That's MAINEDEAFARTS. deafcultureweek.com. It's a free event and it's a wonderful opportunity that the community has supported to make this opportunity available to all of you. So Deaf Culture Festival on Saturday, Nancy will have a table there as well as an activity, again, free for the children. So I do want to talk a little bit about what's happening. Also, there are other events. Saturday, there is a Deaf Night Out event at Lamb's, located in South Portland. On Monday, Hands and Voices is hosting. I don't know if there's someone who wants to speak to that event. Hands and Voices hosting an event around, I think, deaf role models. It's going to happen virtually on Zoom. You can check out Facebook, and the Maine Association for the Deaf has a posting there as well on Facebook. So then Tuesday is Nancy's presentation. Wednesday is the Deaf Culture Panel that's happening virtually on Zoom. Thursday, take a break and get ready for the long weekend with the events on Friday and Saturday. Very, very exciting. And if you have any questions about how to register, feel free to contact me.
Thank you. Nancy, would you mind standing so that people can see you and recognize you? Thank you so much. Any other announcements? Satara, any Deaf Culture Festival announcements? Regan?
Friday night, tomorrow night is game night. Everyone is welcome. It's hosted in South Portland at the fire station. It's the Willard Square Fire Station in South Portland from 6:15 to 10 p.m. You are all welcome. All abilities, all sign language abilities are welcome. Donna Van Horn is hosting the event tomorrow night. There will be interpreters there or communication facilitators available at each table. There will be different games. Feel free to join any table you want to participate in those games tomorrow evening. Next Saturday from 10 to 4 is the Deaf Culture Festival. Once that's over, that evening will be ASL Live. That will be the wrap up to Deaf Culture Week, and that is happening at the Urban Farm Fermentary. And so we have someone coming up from DC. His name is Mervin, and we'll be doing, has done a road show with myself and Amy in the past, back when we were in at MMSD. And so Melly was our is emceeing. And so if you're interested, please come see me. It's $10 to get in. Once you pay me, I will give you your ticket in.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Yes. Amy. Thank you.
We have seen that there's lots of events being held in the southern part of the state. On Sunday, Try Flying Hands. The Try Flying Hands Club is hosting their meeting, which is their elections. That meeting is open to everyone. It is being held in Palmyra at the community center. It starts at 9 in the morning, and they will be electing their new officers. Starts at 9, social hour at 9, meeting starts at 10, and it has to be wrapped up by 1 o'clock. So just want to make sure that we're recognizing our folks to the north.
Okay, so October 14th. Oh, sorry. October 14th, there's going to be the Trashin' Show. Recycled items. Because of COVID, we had to put it on hiatus. So all of these items must be reused things. This is not something brand new. You take items, recyclable items, to make clothing out of them. So it's a very fun opportunity. October 14th, 1 o'clock at Mackworth Island. Satara.
So as Regan just mentioned, the Trash and Show, which again is October 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just FYI, that morning, there will be a Maine Association of the Deaf meeting, and that will lead into the Trash and Show that afternoon. Thanks.
Great. Any final announcements? Are you all falling asleep? A lot of announcements. You ready for the social time? I want to thank you again for coming. Get ready for next year. Thank you all. And if we could have all of our award recipients come up here near the podium to have your picture taken. Thank you.